Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we unpack a story that has shaken the ANC from the inside out, stirred familiar tensions, and left South Africans asking a simple question: who is actually running the ruling party, and why does it feel as if Cyril Ramaphosa is fighting shadows inside his own house? In the past few days, President Cyril Ramaphosa confronted critics inside the ANC's National Executive Committee with a challenge that startled even seasoned comrades. He told them, quite plainly, that if they want him gone, they must name a date and stop plotting in what he called dark corners like cowards. It was one of the rare moments where Ramaphosa abandoned his usual diplomatic tone and went straight for the heart of the matter. No coded language. No polite redirect. Just a man tired of whispers behind closed doors. This outburst has raised a serious question across the country. Are his own cabinet members and senior ANC colleagues working behind the scenes to betray him? Is there a coordinated push to remove him the same way previous ANC leaders were pushed out through internal pressure that pretended to be democratic debate? If you look closely at the broader pattern inside the ANC, the signs are not entirely new. The tension between Ramaphosa's faction and the group that sees itself as the old guard has been simmering since he took office. Every time the party reaches a difficult moment, the rumor of an internal move to unseat him returns. The difference now is that Ramaphosa himself is finally acknowledging the plotting. He is telling the nation that the conversations people whispered about are not imaginary. They are happening inside the top structures of the ruling party. But who exactly is behind the push? That part remains murky, because no one inside the NEC wants to publicly admit to organizing a political coup against their own president. What we do know is that several senior members have grown increasingly frustrated with Ramaphosa's leadership style. They accuse him of being slow, overly careful, and more concerned with consensus than action. Some believe the party is losing ground because his approach does not inspire confidence. Others believe his reform agenda threatens networks that thrived under looser systems. When you tighten the purse strings, restrict access to state influence, and interrupt old habits, not everyone applauds. There are also long-standing political grudges at play. Some leaders feel he inherited the presidency without earning loyalty from the structures that built the ANC's internal power base. Others argue that the scandals connected to the Fela farm have weakened his authority and made him appear vulnerable. Within ANC politics, vulnerability is rarely forgiven. It is often the signal that the next chapter is about to begin. When you add national economic pressures, collapsing municipalities, and endless protests, the atmosphere becomes fertile for behind-the-scenes discussions about new leadership. Ramaphosa's challenge to name a date was not just emotional. It was strategic. By pushing the issue into the public space, he forced his critics to make a choice. Either confront him openly or retreat into silence. In politics, silence can sometimes be as loud as confrontation. If his opponents fail to come forward, he wins time and public sympathy. If they do come forward, they take responsibility for attempting to destabilize the party during a fragile moment in South Africa's political landscape. The question the public is asking is simple. Are his cabinet ministers involved in this quiet rebellion? The truth is, several ministers have ambitions of their own, and ambition is rarely patient. Some want a leadership transition that favors their own rise. Others want to bring back a more traditional, command-driven style of governance instead of Ramaphosa's cautious, procedural approach. A few remain loyal simply because they have nowhere else to go politically. Meanwhile, ordinary South Africans are watching a familiar script unfold. The ANC, instead of focusing on service delivery, energy stability, or job creation, has fallen back into internal battles that drain attention from national issues. Every hour spent debating whether Ramaphosa should stay or go is an hour not spent fixing what millions of people deal with daily. Load shedding may be irregular now, but political shedding seems to be constant. What makes this moment particularly fascinating is Ramaphosa's shift in tone. He is no longer the calm negotiator. He sounds like a man who has reached the limit of politeness. There's even a hint of humor in the way the moment played out. One can almost imagine Ramaphosa adjusting his glasses, looking around the room, and wondering how grown adults can spend so much time whispering about leadership instead of governing. It is as if he finally realized he is dealing with politicians who enjoy plotting far more than planning. But this is also a risky move. By calling out the plotting, he exposes himself to retaliation. If his critics feel cornered, they may push harder to remove him. If they remain divided, he may emerge stronger. It is a political gamble, and the stakes are high. The ANC is no longer the unstoppable force it once was. Losing Ramaphosa could deepen the party's instability, while keeping him could alienate those who believe he has not delivered the renewal he promised. South Africa has seen internal party coups before. Some were sudden. Some were slow. All of them reshaped the political landscape. The question now is whether history is preparing to repeat itself or whether Ramaphosa will survive yet another round of internal warfare. So what do you think? Are ANC leaders quietly moving against Cyril Ramaphosa? Or is this simply political frustration spilling over into public view? Before you go, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice adds depth to these conversations, and we always appreciate your insights. Thanks for watching. See you next time.